Hey sis, how are you? Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, whatever the time is. What I want to talk to you all about today is so many women, girls, men, everybody, so many people are living life trying to be careful. You're trying to be careful. You know, you just walk a fine line because you want to be careful. You don't want to get in a situation. You don't want this to happen. You don't want that to happen. You got to be careful, right? The problem with that is you're so busy being careful that you're not willing to take any chances. And that's not always a good thing. Because, see, in life, you have to take chances. I don't care what it is that you do, there is a chance that you take. When you cross the street, there's a chance that you're taking. You don't know if somebody's coming around that corner, speeding or anything like that, and may jump the curb or whatever. Like, whatever you do, you're taking a chance. Now, in today's world, I don't care if you go to Walmart, the movies, church, wherever, you're taking a chance because you don't know somebody else's state of mind. So, relationships, those friends, just period. Some of those don't serve you. They don't serve you. There's nothing in it for you, but you stay. You stay. And what I want to talk to you all about is something dealing with myself too, because see, I was in that state where I needed to upgrade and I needed to mend, or I needed mended. See, I couldn't fix it by myself. I would not even date anybody named Anthony because I had such bitterness against my son's father for not being there and taking care of him, for the things that he had done. And because of that, I wouldn't date anybody named Anthony. And I kid you not, swear, I would not date anybody with the name Anthony. And as far as things that happen in life, if you act a certain way, you do something that an ex did, I wasn't going to give you a chance, period. I don't care. I was so busy guarding my heart. I was so busy doing like this where the things that I needed to get in, they couldn't get in. The things that needed to get inside of my heart for the mending, I wouldn't let them in because I was not willing to take that chance. So many of us, and I know you can relate, so many of us, we have been hurt to the point where you can't trust anymore. You're in the store and there's high anxiety. You're looking around. You just can't trust anymore. I get that. I understand. But you still have to take those chances sometimes. There is no way you cannot get groceries from the grocery store, or you just can't leave, period. You've got to be in this world somehow, some way, to get what you need. Store with clothing or food or whatever. You've got to have yourself out sometimes. You can't always be like this. And really, even the Bible, it talks about that too. And I know a lot of you all, some people may not have ever read the Bible, or you may not have understanding of it. I do know that there's a time for everything. There's a time for crying. There's a time for laughing. There's a time for war, a time for peace. There's a time for everything. So with that said, things may have hurt you in the past. True. Not all the time were those things based off of something somebody else did. Sometimes you knew that person was no good for you. You knew you should not have been doing those drugs or drinking the way you were, or, really even stealing from your job, do whatever. Sometimes you put yourself in a situation, and then in other times, the situations just happen. Everything has a season. Everything. You, right now, you're going through some things. It's only for a season. I'm telling you from experience, you can be up here somewhere, but that's only for a season. You can be in love. Oh, you love him. Oh, y'all kissy kissy. That's for a season. Because there are going to be some times come that you all have problems, yeah, you can talk it out and everything else, but the way you feel about somebody today, you may not feel about them tomorrow. That's just how it is. That's how it goes. And you know it. Because when somebody meets you, 9 times out of 10, they're putting their best foot forward. But what you got to know is that's for that season. And it takes time to get to know somebody, to know who they really are. I mean, I've done the opposite. I've just like, okay, they've got a clean slate until they prove different, not getting to know people as well as I should have, and, putting myself in different situations. I also want you all to know that pain cannot be stopped by just being careful. Pain cannot be stopped by just being careful. Because I don't care how careful you are, again, things are going to happen. Some things you can't prevent. It's called life. So, while you're guarding yourself, remember this. Some things are going to happen. And I'll share a story with you all. If you've watched my channel for a while, then you know, like, about the divorce, and everything that had happened with my ex-husband. And believe me, when I tell you before getting with him, I was praying, I was fasting, I was asking the Lord what I should do and everything else. But what happened was I ended up getting outside of what God wanted me to do because I wanted to rush the process, like a lot of us do. But even getting with him, I'm like, oh my God, this is like, he's perfect for me. He prays, he's a provider, things like that. He was putting his best face forward. Now, you're going along with life. This is me. I'm like, I'm loving this, okay? The first few weeks or whatever, like, this is good. Over time, those things started to go downhill. And it didn't take long for it to go downhill. The reason why is because he presented his representative, and a lot of ladies do that, and a lot of men do that. So you've got to get to know somebody's real face. Not their Facebook face, their Instagram face, not that face they put on at the church, because a lot of people put on at the church. And it's no wonder why so many people are just like they don't want to go to church. I get that. But again, you've got to step out. Because there are people in the church, and I'm going to tell you this before you even enter those doors. There are people who are going to talk about you. There are people who are going to do everything opposite of what the pastor is preaching. But see, you can't look at those people. You've got to learn to focus on Christ. That's what you're there for. And if that church does not serve you in any kind of way, you don't see yourself there, the Spirit is telling you to leave that alone, then that's what you do. Back to the story about, like with the ex-husband. People were like, well, you knew how he was and this and that. You saw signs and everything else. Why'd you avoid it? Why'd you ignore it? Like a lot of ladies and a lot of men, you all know this person is not for you. But there's this idea that we have, and we want things to just get better. Or we want not to be embarrassed by having to separate, in front of the world and everything. And my main thing was I've always wanted a family. I've always wanted that forever. I've always wanted those type of things. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I do believe that God will restore those things because he said he would. And I know that forever is coming, because I'm not deciding who I want, picking who I want. I'm asking the Lord. I'm consulting him now so that I don't have to worry that I didn't consult him later. You've got to give it all to him. If you put your trust in people, you're going to always be hurt. Like if you totally just say, here, take my heart, take my mind, take my soul, you're going to be hurt. The only person who deserves all of that is the Lord. Now, there are people out there, I'm not saying stay close to getting to know people and things like that. I'm saying, yes, use good judgment, but always consult Christ. Ladies, you can't find or be found a man by doing like this. Like I said, everybody's not for everybody, but at the same time, you have to allow your heart to love. You have to allow your heart to feel. You have to allow your heart to be mended. Let God do a work in you. Because if you don't do that, you're going to find yourself bitter. You're going to find yourself lonely. And it's just not worth it. I know they hurt you. I know they did. I know life hurt you. But one thing I know for sure is if you don't start to get help with that, I don't care what you've got to do, whether it be counseling or going to the Lord or just talking to your friend who is going to give you good advice. Somebody who cares about your well-being and your salvation. You know, there's going to be a problem if you don't do those things. Stop guarding yourself so much that you don't allow the good to get in. Relationship-wise, this is for everybody. Men, women, all that. That person who hurt you is not the person God has for you. You will miss out on the one that the Lord has for you if you don't let that go. I can remember when I first left home or first really started to go through things a few months before leaving my ex, I was like in a stage of devastation. I wasn't smiling. It was a struggle. It was like I cried all the time. Where I used to be happy about him coming home, I'd be mad and just didn't want to see him when he got home. I would still cook and do everything for him, but in my heart, I was gone already. A lot of you all are not leaving because you just somehow feel like you need that person. A lot of ladies, look, and I've said it too. I was like, I've worked hard with this person. I've been in this relationship. I don't want another woman to just have him and, just take all my hard work. We're not the maker. If you are depressed or you are bound in something, you don't have to stay in it and it's okay to let it go. You don't have to let somebody treat you worse than yesterday's garbage. Learn how to open your heart. But before you open your heart, take time to be alone. Take time to consult Christ. Just take the time. Because as you get counseling or you come out of that storm and you get to know yourself, your heart slowly opens up. I'm not saying that you're ever going to meet somebody who's perfect because there is nobody who's perfect. But sis, you deserve a man who cares for you. You deserve a man who loves you, thinks about you. If you've got kids, you deserve somebody who's going to love your kids or your grandbabies. You deserve somebody who's going to be concerned about you when you're sick. You do deserve a man to be a provider. You're not a gold digger just because you want a man to be a provider. We are the help meet. We are not supposed to be out here taking care of men. It is okay. You're going to be okay. Believe me when I tell you that. I mean, you've seen me when I wasn't okay. You've seen me be okay. You've seen me go up. You've seen me go down. God's got this. You've got this. Unlock your heart, sis. I love you.